Hi everyone, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm Faye. I like makeup. Now I haven't made a video in a while, and whilst I do my makeup today, we are going to chat about where I've been. But today in general, we're just doing a everyday makeup look, as in, not that I literally wear this makeup every day because I don't even wear makeup every day, but if I want something that I can do in 10 minutes before I go out the door to slap it on my face, make myself look a bit nicer, this is my routine. So let's get started. So we're going to start with concealer. I already have sunscreen on my face. Now this is from Etude. This is the Cover Pang Longwear concealer, and it's sort of a slightly more matte concealer. It dries down reasonably well by itself, and I'm not wearing foundation because in my everyday routine right now I do not wear foundation. And that started really during the summer when I wanted something just a little bit more lightweight, and then I moved to the Netherlands, part of why I haven't been filming recently. And I realised that here, lighter makeup is more of like what's popular, what's more of the trend. Like people definitely wear less makeup here than they do in England. So I continued with my like no foundation routine. I mean, I wear foundation like on like special occasions or when I want to look super nice, but on a daily basis now, it's just concealer. Now you don't need this concealer. You can have any concealer, you just want one that really matches your skin tone well, because if you're not wearing foundation, you can't really go with a lighter concealer because you haven't got that foundation to blend it into to make it look natural. So you need a concealer that blends with your skin tone, and a demi matte one is nice because then you don't really have to set it all over with powder. So where have I been? Well, I stopped making videos probably around like March, because that was when I started revising for my university finals, and because I have health problems, it took me 8 years rather than the standard 3 to do my undergraduate degree. So when it came time to revise for the exams that really counted, obviously I didn't want to mess it up after 8 years of university. So really I kind of just stopped doing everything else in my life to focus on revising, and that took me up until like end of June. Then I had my actual exams at the start of July, and then I moved to the Netherlands in the middle of July. And when we moved here, we did not have a place to live, so we were in an Airbnb for like 4 weeks while we looked for an apartment. Then we found an apartment, but it was unfurnished, so we spent a lot of time at IKEA, and then it was a construction site whilst Sam built all of the furniture. And then all of the stuff we'd packed up to move from England arrived, including all my makeup, which was like packed up like basically during my revision period, so I didn't really have a whole lot of makeup for quite a while. And then that arrived here in August, and we had like a mega... My nose doesn't look too cute right now because I have a really dry nose because I've had just a sniffle, like a little just slightly runny nose for like a month, and I keep rubbing my nose with a tissue, and so it's a little dry and flaky and not so cute looking, but we'll just ignore that. Usually it looks like okay, but today it's like nope, flaky. Anyway, so then yeah, we had like a mega unpacking of boxes because we used to live in a 3-bed house, now we live in a 1-bed apartment, so we had a lot of stuff to try and squeeze into a very small space. And by the time we'd done all that, it was the end of August, start of September, and my master's degree started in the start of September. And then that was like a little bit intense, like not super duper crazy, not as crazy as Cambridge, but still pretty intense and pretty hard work. And you know, you're just adapting to a new country, trying to figure out how everything works, like how the doctors work, and like, I mean, I don't really have a good place to film. This is part of my kitchen, and then I just have this so that you can't see all my groceries. But we are making do, and hopefully this new setup works. Please forgive me if there's any issues with the camera and stuff, because I just got a new phone. That there is my phone. Okay, so we have our concealer on. It's looking reasonably well blended, aside from the like dry patches that I have on my face right now. Anyway, I'm gonna go into highlight. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Beauty Light Wand in Spotlight. And I hate this packaging. I hate all of this type of packaging, but it's a great highlight, so we'll make do with it. And oh, yeah, you always with this type of packaging, you end up with too much highlighter coming out, ends up a right mess. Anyway, got a bit too much. It always happens. I'm just going to rub it into my 2 fingers here and then apply it at the same time on both cheeks because it's just faster. And this is makeup for when I'm usually in kind of a rush. And this I just do not usually put it that close to my nose. That was a mistake. I will pop some more concealer over that because I just really highlighted all of my pores because I wasn't concentrating. Yeah, I love this highlight because it's just a super flattering colour, like pale gold colour. Because I'm not really a big fan of like the pinky toned highlights. They don't look quite right on my skin tone. And it blends really nicely and it builds up really nicely, so you can be super glowy if you want to be, or just like subtle and natural if you don't want to be super glowy. And yeah, I'm just gonna, because I put highlight on my pores, which is a really bad idea. Clean finger. Okay, let's just remattify that little area there. Okay, now that highlight's done, blush, also a cream product. I just love that I can wax on with my fingers. It's the Beauty Pie Supercheek blush in the shade Bare Blush. I do also use it sometimes with a brush or a sponge, but it works really well with the fingertips, and it's a nice like just rose pink colour that goes with basically everything, so I don't have to worry about the shade. I can just whack this on and it basically always looks nice. It can be, you know, a little intense as you see here, but it does blend out pretty easily and pretty nicely. Got some little patch there on my face, but I think that's a sunspot. I used to have a really even skin tone, and then I went on holiday to, well, I went to Nepal first, and then I went to Thailand and Vietnam, and yeah, got sunspots because the UV there is like super intense. And I always put blush on my forehead, like as in this is where the sun would hit me, and if I'm looking like slightly, just a little bit burnt, you know, just a little bit burnt. Add a little bit more to the cheeks here. Yeah, a little bit nose, again, little sunburn, and I just tend to rub a little bit into the crease here for a quick, like, I don't know, eyeshadow-ish crease shade. I don't know what I'm talking about, but okay, right, those are our cream face products done. So I'm going to use a little bit of powder now. So I have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. This is shade 1. This is a super nice fine setting powder. Just get any concealer creases out from there. And I basically just set the eye area, nowhere else, because like I said, this is a sort of demi matte concealer, and it doesn't really need setting like on my skin. And I've started to find that actually setting the oilier areas of my face with powder is counterproductive and makes things look worse, not better. So that's just a new way of doing my makeup. Like I'm literally just setting around my eye area and I don't set anywhere else on my face anymore, because I find that then throughout the day, if I get any creasing or any oil breakthrough, I can much easier like soak up the oil with like a little sheet and reblend the makeup, whereas if I set it with powder, then I can't reblend it. I can't blend it back out if something happens to it. It's just stuck however it ends up, and then I can't fix anything. So that's that. I'll probably put a little bit more highlight on in a minute just to go over where I've put that powder. Now I am going to set my cream blush. This is the Beauty Pie Glow All Super Powder Base Palette. It has 4 shades in it, so you've got 2 blushes, a bronzer and a highlighter. These 3 are great. The highlighter is rubbish, like really rubbish, but the other 3 are really nice. So I'm going to use this shade here, and I'm just going to set my blush brush a little bit over my forehead there, my nose, and that's all we're doing with that. So that's the face. That's the face done. We're moving on to eyeshadow. So I have two eyeshadow palettes. I have the Fullshot, what's this? Sulky Bunny, like number 2. And this is from Etude House, the Peach Farm Play Colour Eyes. They're both Korean brands. And I like Korean eyeshadow for when I'm in a rush because they tend to be less pigmented. And with a really pigmented eyeshadow, you have to be super, super careful. Tap off your brush, make sure you've not got too much product. With a less pigmented eyeshadow, you can just shove it on and it will look fine. So that's why I like these on a daily basis, and I'm just going to use one brush and go into everything. So yeah, what else has happened? I got married. So I got married in December. So after my first semester here in the Netherlands, I went home to England. Sam and I got married, we had Christmas, we stayed in England for most of January, and then we came back, and now I'm here. And oh, I'm just going in with the pink shade, by the way. Now I'm here and I'm finally recording again. But yeah, it's been a pretty crazy year. A lot has happened, and yeah, I just really haven't had like the time or the physical like space or whatever to actually like record and do things. So now I'm trying to be back. I'm gonna try and be a little more consistent with videos. Under the eye. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and make some more videos. I bought the new Charlotte Tilbury foundation to review, and I'm gonna do a video on how I did my bridal makeup because I did my own makeup. Quite a few Charlotte Tilbury products on that as well, actually. Okay, I'm going into the Peach Farm eyes, and I'm going into this brown shade here. The brown shade in this one I find to be a little bit too cool toned, so I tend to dip into this shade at the end here, and just same brush, and I'm going to concentrate that more in the crease, less blended out. Just, again, don't really have to think too much with these eyeshadows, because they're very sort of soft and natural and they blend really nicely. Whack that under there as well. Now, I don't always do this, it depends on how I'm feeling, but even on a daily basis I do really like glitter. So I'll often take the glitter from this palette here, just with my finger. It's a really pretty like peachy pinky gold shade. Goes with a lot of things in my opinion. Like, this is a really versatile shade, and Etude do also sell this glitter shade separately if you don't want the whole palette, you just want the glitter. So apply that just with a finger. Hopefully, by the way, this camera is better quality and you can see me better. Like, hopefully you can see like all my pores maybe now, fingers crossed. Like, I want you to be able to see what's going on, like the bad as well as the good, because sometimes when you just don't have the quality of camera that you ideally would like, everything just looks a little bit blurred, or your skin looks better than it actually is, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's just like the quality of the camera. But hopefully this one is better and you can see me better now. Okay, so I have two brow pencils. This is where I tend to slow down a little bit and take a bit more time. If I don't have time and I don't really want to fill in my brows, I will use the Beauty Pie Archology Eyebrow Sculpting Gel. This is Perfect Brown. This is kind of almost waxy. It builds up on the hairs to make the hairs look thicker. So if you don't want to fill in with a pencil, you can use something like this. But usually, I mean, my brows are pretty sparse, so I would usually fill them in with a pencil. I just bought the Brow Flick, the Glossier one. I've never used one of those like pens before, so I thought I would try that, but I haven't tried it out yet. This, by the way, is the Etude House Drawing Eyebrow Slim, and the shade is grey brown. And I just like this because as a grey brown, it just doesn't have red in it, and I find often like brow pencils have too much red in them, and then they don't look right with my hair colour because my hair is not really very red. I mean, it goes a bit more red in the summer, just like at the ends where it's had a lot more sunlight, but I prefer to keep like red shades out of my eyebrows. So I'm just being, I don't know, I'm not being like super careful, because like I said, this is just like slap it on makeup and leave the house, but I'm trying to at least get them to look like a similar shape on both sides. I'll brush them out, and then I'll add a little bit more like darkness with the MAC pencil that I have here, because the MAC pencil is a darker brown, but it's not quite as ashy, so I like to put in this more ashy base colour. And then I'll take the MAC eyebrow styler. Is the shade, it says Stud on it, I'm not sure if that's part of the name of the product or if that's the shade, but if it's not the shade name, then there's no shade name on here, so I guess Stud must be the shade name, I don't know. It will all be in the description box down below. So I'm going to focus this more on the underside, like the lower bit of my brow, just like putting it into the arch there to define that. It's hard to talk while I'm doing this, and a bit more just in the tail of the brow here. Check it a bit closer to the mirror. I know I like go out of camera when I go closer to my mirror, but it's the only thing I have to be able to see myself with. And I'm just gonna brush that out again, so the colours are all sort of blended into each other and it's sort of soft and not too like harshly drawn on. Okay, I think we can call that reasonable. For like a quick makeup, it's good enough, you know? So then, brow gel. This is also Etude. Quite a few of Etude products in here. Etude, Beauty Pie, Charlotte Tilbury. Yeah, anyway. This is the Skinny Brow Cara, and I'm not sure what shade it is because it's in Korean, but I will put it in the box down below. And I really like the brush tip. I don't know if this is going to focus because this is a new camera. I don't really know how it works yet. But this is a really nice like brush thing. It's really small, so if you have like skinnier eyebrows like me, this is a really nice brush that's not gonna get product everywhere, because I hate that. And there we go. It's also the shade, it's not too warm again, so I'm avoiding that warmth. So let's brush that in there. Try and get a reasonable amount of floof from that. There we go. Okay, so what do we do? What do we do next? Oh, I was gonna just tap a little bit more highlight on. If I've got at this point a clean finger to do that with, which I really don't. Okay, that finger will do. So there's a problem halfway through your makeup, your fingers ended up covered. Oh no, I shouldn't use that finger actually. That finger has glitter on it from the eyeshadow. That would be bad. I'll use my little finger. I don't think I've used that yet. I'm just going to tap a bit more of this highlight just there where it got taken down a bit by the under eye powder. And this is one of the nice things about this highlight is it does blend over powders like pretty nicely. Like a lot of cream highlights, you put them over powder and you get gunk, but this is nice. Okay, so all we want now is mascara and lip gloss. And I've been using on like a natural sort of lash day, the Kiko Milano Luxurious Lashes Waterproof Mascara. And this is going to give me like a very natural lash. It has a massive wand, but I'm just going to get a very natural lash from this, because it's not like a building mascara that, you know, like adds sort of thickness to the lashes. It just sort of separates them and extends them. Try not to get it on my eyelid. That'll do, and I don't put any on my bottom lashes, not on a daily basis. And then this gloss is the Wonder Gloss from Beauty Pie. And this exact shade came in a trio, which I'm not sure they make anymore, but they do make a clear of the Wonder Gloss as well as tinted shades. And this one, even though it looks kind of pink in here, it's basically clear. Like when you put it on, it's basically clear. So that's all I've been doing on the lips. No lipstick, no lip liner, just hydration. And this is really nice for hydration because it's kind of like a gel oil, like it's not sticky. It's not sticky or anything. Okay, and we're basically, I mean, that's it. I'm ready to go. So if I'm not talking to the camera, I can do this pretty darn quickly. Yeah, okay. So that was everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Little life update. You know what I've been up to now and why I've not been around. Please join me for my future videos. I would love that very much. Subscribe, press the little like, thumbs up thing, and yeah, come back and join me again next time. Okay, bye now.